Good evening, children. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. Okay, we'll continue the lesson. We saw yesterday Aurangzeb was the last ruler from Mughal dynasty who was very powerful, and after whose death, some of the Mughal governors and zamindars who asserted their authority and created regional powers both in South India and North India. Okay, then there is one picture on the first page. This picture shows that Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the leader of 1857 revolt, and this Bahadur Shah Zafar and his sons being arrested by Britishes. Bahadur Shah Zafar was forced to leave the kingdom, and his sons were shot dead by the Britishes. This much we have seen. We will continue the lesson now. Children, see here, East India Company comes east. This is the next point we have to see. In the year 1600, East India Company it acquired a charter from the ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I, granting it the sole right to trade with East. This means that no other trading group in England could compete with the East India Company. There was no any competitor for East India Company from Britain. It was alone organization who could have all the trading relations with India. This was as per the charter granted by Queen Elizabeth I. Okay, in those days, these mercantile trading companies made profit primarily by excluding competition, so that they could buy cheaper rate, they could buy the goods at the cheaper rate and sell it at the higher rates in their European countries. Okay, here this word is difficult. Mercantile means it's a business enterprises group who used to buy all the goods at the cheaper rate and sell those goods in European market at the higher rates. This is what mercantile. This word is there in the textbook. You can see this afterwards. Then the next point, the first English ship sailed down the west coast of Africa around the Cape of Good Hope, that is today's Cape Town, and it crossed the Indian Ocean. So you observe this map, you will understand. Okay, Cape Town means in those days Cape of Good Hope. But this royal charter, however, could not prevent other European powers from entering the eastern markets like India. And European powers like Portuguese, who had already established their base in Goa, then Portuguese explorer who had discovered the sea route to India in the year 1498, he was the Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was a person who discovered sea route to India in the year 1498. You underline this sentence, it's very important. Then followed by it Dutch people who came to India, and then French traders also established their base in India. So like this, all European powers, including British East India Company, Portuguese people, Dutch people, and French traders, all of them they established their trading bases or factories in India. Children, once again I repeat, it was Vasco da Gama. He was a Portuguese explorer, sailor. He discovered the sea route to India in the year 1498. Now my question is, for European people, why it was needed to find sea route to India? When we try to get answer to this question, we have to go back to 1453. 1453 was the year when one very very important event took place, and it was like this. I will tell you, just listen it carefully, boys. In the year 1453, Constantinople, this particular region, was captured by Turkish people. Okay, and when these Turkish people captured Constantinople, after that, what happened? These European traders like British East India Company, French, Portuguese, Dutch, all these people who used to go through this Constantinople when they were to come to eastern side via land route. Okay, means it was the only way to go to India. If anybody from European traders were to go to India or Indian subcontinent, they were to go from Constantinople. And now Constantinople is brought under control of Turkish people, who imposed a very heavy duty taxes on British traders, again these European all the traders. And because of this, these all the trading organizations, they had suffered a lot financially, and that is why they decided to find any other alternative way that will take them to India and Indian subcontinent via sea route. Okay, this is the answer. Boys, all these companies had one problem, because all of them were interested in buying the same products from Indian market. Products like fine qualities of cotton and silk, then spices like pepper, cloves, cardamom, cinnamon. All these kind of Indian products, they had a great demand in European markets, and that is why these all uh, trading companies like British East India Company, Portuguese people, Dutch people, French, all of them were very interested in buying the same products, which led to what? Which led to increase the prices of all these products. Okay, and to gain the profit, there was only one way, and it was just to eliminate sorry just to eliminate rival competitors, means to kill them. This was the only way, and in this way we can say they had fierce battles fought between them. These all the trading companies, they started sinking each other's ships, blockaded routes, prevented rival ships from moving with the supply of goods, and then trade was carried on with arms, soldiers, and trading posts were protected through fortification. And when these companies started fortifying their trading centers, these local rulers, they had also problem. It led to intense fight with local rulers, and that is why this British East India Company find it very difficult to separate trade from politics. Boys, our next point is East India Company begins trade in Bengal. East India Company, it set its first factory near the banks of river Hooghly in the year 1651. It was the base from which company traders known at that time as the factors. The factory had a warehouse where the goods for export were stored, and it had offices where company officials sat. By 1696, it began to build forts around the settlements. 2 years later, it bribed Mughal officials into giving the company zamindari right over three villages. One of these was Kalikata, which grew later Kolkata or today's Kolkata. Boys, underline the first sentence. First English factory was set up on the banks of river Hooghly in the year 1655, 1651, sorry. Underline this one. Company traders were known as factors. Then by 1696, this began it began to building forts around the settlements, and 2 years later it bribed Mughal officials into giving the company zamindari right over three villages. One of it was Kalikata, which later grew as a Calcutta or today's Kolkata. Boys, East India Company also persuaded the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to issue Farman, granting the company right to trade without any duty. And this Farman granted the company right to trade duty free or without any duty, but the officials were asked to pay duty on private trade. This was the condition. Company tried to get more and more concessions all the time and manipulate the existing privileges one. Aurangzeb's Farman, for instance, had granted only the company the right to trade duty free. Boys, here one difficult word is there, manipulate. Manipulate means to use, move or control. Okay. As per the Farman of Aurangzeb, only the company, that is East India Company, was granted to conduct all the business or trading activities without any duty. But there were some officials who were having their individual trade, private trade. They were to pay to the government, but they were not paying. They used to refuse. Because of this, it was a enormous loss of revenue for Bengal. And Nawab of Bengal in those days, Murshid Quli Khan, protested against it. Okay children, listen this video and try to understand the concept. In case if anybody has any difficulty, you can ask me. Okay, thank you.